Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we are continuing our look at the Azure Lane Commanders, and today it is going to be Azure Lane Azuma, and of course we are running the Azuma. If you don't know the whole shtick of Azuma, it's kind of a battle cruiser. Technically, it in Alaska we're supposed to be comparable in ship-to-ship combat. It isn't in this game, but that was the intent behind Alaska and Azuma. They were kind of meant to go head to head. Now, as far as the commander goes, Azure Lane Azuma, she is kind of optimized for this ship. Generally, Japanese cruisers are HE spammers. They have very hard-hitting HE that has a very good fire chance. Azuma has a decent fire chance, but it's definitely meant to be sort of a battle cruiser and therefore played with AP, and that is what Azuma does. First, the new base trait, what's it going to do for you? Well, it's going to, one, increase the maximum speed of the cruiser, meh, but it is also going to increase incoming fire duration, which is nice. Then her special skill is called Special Gunnery Training. What it's going to do is going to boost AP shell damage, boost the penetration multiplier at the cost of shell grouping. So we have that sort of excitement going on, and to top it all off, we're here on Islands of Ice. We've already slapped that mines for a good chunk of health, and Islands of Ice is interesting. I had a lot of fun playing this match on here, just because it felt like the enemy team did not want to push mid, and it's not that Azuma is a stealthy ship, but for some reason, we were able to get into this cap and be able to start the cap process and start hitting for some good damage. There we hit the Iowa for a Citadel. Like, we're doing some decent damage for being able to push into mid where you usually wouldn't see it with Azuma. So I do have to say, pairing Azuma with Azuma, pretty nice combo. Would I spend the money to do that? Probably not. But anyways, we're here in B. We're going to kind of try to take some cover and shelter right here and prevent ourselves from being spotted anymore. Try to get the center cap done. We can see the enemy team is pushing hard into C and hard into A. Like I said, B was kind of left unguarded and no one was really challenging it, but we'll take it. We're going to go ahead, hit hard reverse, try to get back behind this island, and we're kind of picking our shots, waiting to see who we want to take a shot at. We do kind of want to hold our fire until we can get the cap kind of all the way captured, or at least enough time so that if we fire, the incoming flight time on those shells is long enough where we'd be able to finish off the cap before those shells would land. Because right now we want to be the only point that is currently gaining our team points, because points are what will win you the match, sinking everyone on the enemy team or gaining those points, and we want to gain those points. Anyways, we finally got the cap. Grosser Kernfust is looking kind of broadside right now, and we are going to attempt to take advantage of that. He is decently far away, so the usual turtleback armor that you would find on German battleships shouldn't be too effective, but we are going to have to get the right angle in on him, and we're going to have to hit just correctly if we want to get any sort of real damage. But we can see we are now also pretty much broadside to everyone who is chilling out back behind A, so we need to put the lead out and get on out of here. We accomplished our goal in A. Now it's time for us to attempt to find some crossfires, and I was pleasantly surprised in this match with our ability to find some crossfires. I think it just has to do with how large this map was, because if we wanted to at any point, we could really just kind of stop firing and drop off of the rate, or drop off of vision from everyone, just because of how far away everyone was playing. It's not like Azuma is a particularly stealthy vessel, but at 10 kilometers, we're able to keep people at a distant range, and then we get slapped by Yamato right there. And Yamato's the one where we have to fear. Now, he's broadside to us. And generally, Yamatos don't have the best side armor, so we want to be able to punish that. We don't get too many hits there, but we do need to live in fear with the Yamato. Azuma has a mixture between 27 and 32 millimeters of armor, which means Yamato will overmatch everything very happily, no matter what angle we are. So we just need to be as far away as possible as it slaps us once again in the Citadel while we're just trying to run away. That is the downside to Azuma facing a Yamato. There isn't much you can do, but this Hipper is sailing pretty broadside. We get a decent chunk out of him. Grosser Kernfust behind the island. We can't really hit him. But like I said, right now our job is more run from the Yamato, because we can't do much against him, and try to get any of these decent crossfires off on these enemy ships, because they are still sailing somewhat broadside. And if we can use these islands to our advantage and for our cover, we should be able to rack up a little bit more damage before the end of this match. And like I said, also part of the plan, just get away from Yamato. Just try to run in fear, because we aren't going to if it looks at us now, we may suddenly combust. Anyways, we've now kind of pushed back. We've let a lot more teammates be the closer targets between us and Yamato, and usually that does provide some sort of protection. It's not like AI where they're going to concentrate on the closest enemy, but with what I find is with players, if you allow yourself to kind of disengage and let people get locked into certain battles, you do then have a little bit more time. You are able to kind of slip back into the back of people's minds, so you're not the primary target, even when you do have very little health left. But we get a very nice hit there, 4 hits with the Citadel on the Hipper. Hipper goes down, and now our team is left with the Yamato and another cruiser in C, and we just kind of have to be very careful as to what our ranges are on this Yamato. Yamato broadside, once again, we want to get those Citadel hits. We know we can get some juicy hits, a decent chunk damage right there. He goes ahead, turns his guns. We want to start kind of angling out, making sure we are as thin of a profile as we are in case any of his shells decide to come in. We want to be able to get away from him. He also ends up dropping spot once he gets around that island, which is exactly what we want. And we're going to prep because we know he's kind of maintaining that angle. Though we're going to go ahead and flip our guns because we want to keep as much of these islands between us. We want to be able to have a available escape route between us and the Yamato. So we are only going to be able to use our rear guns, but that's because we want to be able to escape, right? If we continued on our old path, it would not be good. Now, here comes the real choice. We're like, oh crap, there's a Minotaur out there. And yes, it's going to be a difficult hit to get some juicy damage on a Yamato. It's not going to be a hard hit. If we can touch that Minotaur anywhere, we are going to be doing some very, very juicy damage. So he kind of drops off the radar right there, drops off from vision. We put one shell, kind of blind fire. We end up getting a little bit of damage out of that, and we just need him to start opening fire. Because if he decides to open fire on us, we should be able to kind of read where he is. He's right there. We're going to go ahead, send 6 shells in return. He looks like he's now pushed it into forward. That second set of shells not looking good, but the first set, 2 Citadels end up hitting him there. We do tag him just in the back, but we do take about half that Minotaur's health, and we just need these front guns to reload. Though by the time they get ready, it looks like he is going to end up dropping off in a escaping spot. Unfortunately, our teammate isn't able to maintain spot on him, but we know that Minotaur is kind of pegged in. One of the weird things, and one of the things I'm not 100% in love with Islands of Ice, the map, is a lot of these islands have they're very quickly vertical. And what that means is you're spamming kind of HE or AP cruisers, in Minotaur's case, have a little bit of a difficulty to play. Because the islands are so steep so quickly, they can't really arc the shells over it. They can't really island hug. They do have to kind of stand back in order to get the arch correctly. And we're going to go ahead and push in. Last time we saw that Yamato was kind of heading out, and we were like, oh, it might be safe to push in. We want to kind of pie out this corner. We can see our teammate, our cruiser, who's off on the very back edge of the map. We want to be able to kind of make it so that this Minotaur cannot hide. Yamato pops out right there, and we're like, oh crap. He's approaching our spotting window, but Minotaur also kind of fleeing, trying to get out of his teammate. We get spotted by the Minotaur. We're going to start turning out, try to get that island between us and Yamato. Minotaur takes huge hits, just massive hits, while we're trying to get our rear gun on target for the Minotaur. Of course, now that we're broadside, Minotaur can absolutely tear us up. Those quick firing AP shells, they can absolutely tear through things, and we want to get away. We want to get out of the range of the Yamato, because if we can take out Minotaur, let the situation reset, we should be able to be safe. We missed the shot on there. Yamato fires one salvo. He misses. Second salvo hits a couple of times right there. Minotaur just gone off and behind the island now, and we are very much down. Yamato, though, once again presenting that side, and we're like, we gotta get some good hits here, and unfortunately we get the shatter. So, rear guns go off once again, and we just try to turn out, and one shell hits, two shells hit, and that's it. That's the end of it. But that is the Azuma, and I found playing with Azuma pretty fun. Both the ship and the person, of course, or the commander. Is it worth it for the commander to spend the money? No, probably not. It probably is not. Like, this is the only ship I can think of where you would want to use Azuma as a commander, and I think her base rates, as we talked about with Azur Montpellier, not really particularly worth it. So that's kind of the trade-off, but there really isn't a trade-off. I think the base trait isn't one that you're going to use as an inspiration. I think it's fun to play on the same named ship, but is that premium worth the $20? Not to me. I'll be honest, it ain't. But yeah, guys, that's today's video. Shout out to the Yamato player on the enemy team. He ends up winning this game in getting a Kraken, so good on him. And guys, if you liked the video, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.